Hello mate, and welcome to another pixel art video. In this one I'm going to be working on a map icon. I haven't quite decided what kind of format I want my map icon to take yet, so let's just have a play. I'm thinking I could start off with the really basic, like rip-off of the Google Maps type of icon, which has a number of squares, a bit more saturation, a bit more colour, a little bit more blue. Something like that, and then something like that, and then a bit of green. And just do another one over this side, kind of like that, and then maybe have one over here as well. And I'm going to get a pure white. That's quite low opacity, that is. Let's do that again. Goodness me. Hand-eye coordination seems to be way all off over the place at the moment. Let's grab that. I need to add a bit more brightness to it. There we go. It doesn't matter what colour it is in terms of what it does a little bit, obviously, but opacity needs to be 100% on these icons, because if you're going to put them into something like a user interface, you can't have transparency where there's not meant to be any, because it will look really odd when it's laid over interface elements. So we've got to make sure we've got it sorted. Okay, so this comes across here, but I'm going to draw that line across there. And then perhaps another one going across like that. And yeah, we'll draw one there. Oh, goodness me. Okay, and then that one. And then over the top of all of this, on the googly, there's another one that comes out. In fact, I'm going to replace this one with a yellow. And I'm going to replace this one with a yellow. And I'm going to do another yellow here. And then one more just here. And then the last thing that we put on this map is, I'm going to do it on another layer because I've got a feeling I'm going to keep needing to redraw this, is the old, it's got kind of a matte look to it. Does that give us the shape that we want? I think maybe I need to go a bit bigger. Is that closer? I don't like these square corners. They don't look right in pixel art, so I think I need to make the hole in the center kind of bigger. Excuse me. And then, does that look any better though? Does it look any better? What happens if I delete that one and that one? Okay, let's not use that style of pin then. Let's go with That needs to be black, doesn't it, really? Because you can't see it there. Let's go with that kind of pin instead. Let's draw it in a better position. Like that. And then the last thing we need to do is on this layer, we need to just fill up these spaces with a kind of a slightly off-white. There you go. So you kind of get the gist of that. That's one type of map icon. Let's create another 16 by 16. Let's try something that people might be a little bit more familiar with. So let's go with a slightly orangey beige kind of hue shape to start with. And no, I don't want to do that actually. I want to draw there, make sure I've got pixel perfect selected in my line tool. Like that, and fill that up. Move that up that way, and then I can Control C, Control V it and do. Let's not do that just yet. Let's not do that yet. Let's draw a slightly different shape with a slightly darker hue to it. Now what I could do is I could just go crap loads darker and drop the opacity in. This time I'm just going to go with a straight up square, I think. Maybe I'll expand this one more pixel out. Good God, come on, it's a straight line, how hard is it? I could just zoom in, that would be the obvious solution to this problem. And then what I'll do is I will paste this colour over the top of it. There we go, it's given us a little bit of a dimension there. Makes it look like one document overlaid on top of another. And then we're going to draw some kind of landmass on this. It hasn't got the right button. It would help. It hasn't got to be spectacular. It just needs to be like just round off anything that you think makes it look less like an island, and then perhaps put a blue border around the outside of it to indicate water. Now where it's getting quite close to the edges, you can potentially draw over these green pixels. You don't want it to go right to the edge because it will look crap, basically. But I don't think that's a problem. I think what I can do is I can just, if I square these edges off so that you can see that it's something like that. I think that makes it more obviously a map, and I'm just going to experiment and see if drawing this there will. I feel like that might be too much in the terms of shadow. But I feel like I need to add a little bit more to this back document edge just to make it look different. I think maybe I'll bring the color down ever so slightly as well, and perhaps put a gradient on it too. So make sure I've got that color selected, bring the color down, saturation up, take it that way. Okay, so if I go like this, there you go, that looks a bit better. And then if I just bring the color way down and bring the opacity way down as well, I start off my gradient perhaps here. It's a really, really subtle gradient, but it does give you that three-dimensional kind of feeling there. And I could actually do the same thing for the outside of this document, but what I think I'll do is I'll put a gradient on it once I've finished drawing the map. So now I've got my green color there. I could realistically just leave it like that if I wanted to, but I'm going to add some kind of marks on it just to kind of be indicators of perhaps features on the landscape. I might even grab a yellow and just do that to kind of indicate a beach or something. And if you wanted to make it look like that there was a mountain range or something on your map, you could perhaps do something like that. Make it a bit more white though. But you know, that's kind of very basic, again, a very basic map icon. And then, as I said about the gradient, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the filled rectangle tool. I'm going to grab a nice dark color, bring the opacity way down. I'm going to start my gradient about there, and then go there, and then go there, and go there. I've lost track of where I was. I'll just do another one there just in case. There we go. It's barely noticeable from the sort of the zoomed in version, but if you zoom out you can see that there is definitely a gradient on that. Just makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. So there's another option for a map icon. I'll do one more because there's one more kind of archetypal. That does not look like it's 16 by 16. Let's get rid of that and start again. Yeah, 16 by 13 for some reason. Aseprite's gone mental. Right, let's try that again. Okay. So again, we're going to start off with a kind of beige-ish sort of colour. Fairly light beige. Lighter than that perhaps. And this is kind of what the last typical actually drawing anywhere, or do I need to go select none? Deselect. No, there's nothing there. Why is that not drawing? Oh, it's because the opacity's all the way down. Idiot. Okay, so the last of the archetypal map icons. Now we do only have 16 pixels to play with, so we are slightly limited in how we do this. So I think I might go with that being our rough shape, and then we can join the dots, make sure we've got the right tool selected. And this one, I think the fold's going to have to be there. Cool. Okay, so now what I can do is I can fill in the front facing pages in this color. Or the folds, or whatever it is you want to call them. And then on the slightly left facing one, I'm going to come down. Do that. And as you can see, that's already given us a bit of a thing. But what I'm actually going to also do is I'm going to grab that same color with the opacity really low, and I'm going to fill it over top of this one, just so that you can see that that one is further back than this one. And then we've got our folded page. Now all we need to do is put some details on it. So again, we're going to grab our green. Now this time I'm going to deliberately have the opacity down at about, I don't know, 160, something like that. Make sure that I've got a good grassy green selected. And just like the previous thing, make sure we got the pen tool selected, and then I'm just going to draw us kind of a blob of landmass on this page, making sure that you don't go over the same squares more than once, because we've got our opacity low. If I do it again, you can see it's going to change the color. So I'm going to maybe have a lake in there or something like that. And then because we've got our opacity low, we can see the color is actually darker. In that space. So we can see on there, does that look okay? So I might need to go over a few of these pixels just to make this shape look a bit more like a island of some sort. There we go, that doesn't look too bad, does it? And then sometimes you'll see maps that have like a north, south, east, west indicator on there. It's going to be a little tricky to fit that in with such a limited pixel size, but let's see what we can do. If I create a new layer and come up that, and let's put it on this page just so that it's not obstructing. In fact, no, let's do it in the bottom corner here. Does that look right? It's pissed, so it needs to actually be, because the page is at a slanted angle. I think what I need to do is go with maybe a little bit of mind bending. So we draw it this way. In fact, better still. Cunning plan. North is very, very opaque. And that one's like that. Yeah, I'm not feeling it that way around actually, if I'm being honest. So let's just delete all of that nonsense and go back to doing the oh yeah, opposite if I have the actual paintbrush selected. It's not perfect, but with 16 pixels there's only so much you can really do. And what I could do is add a shadow. Underneath the map like that. Maybe even add a highlight on this edge if we wanted to, so we can grab this color. And just grab that and do that. How does it look that way? No, I think that was better. That worked. There you go, so there's another type of map icon. So we've covered 3 in this one, so hopefully you found something in there that you liked, maybe inspired you to give a try of your own. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. But until then, you take damn good care of yourselves, alright? Bye bye.